Alright, hey guys. We're here at the Confederate shooting range. We're about 15 yards behind the shooting line at 150 using regular sights, aiming above the target. So you can see at 150, we're hitting near the center. If we aim above the target, the furthest target, here's attempt number 2. I'm gonna aim right above that furthest target right there on the right. Bang. And we're on the paper at about 150 yards, slightly forward of those clump of rocks. We're going to take another shot here and on the paper. So today we're going to do 150, 200, 250, and 300 yards, and we're going to do 5 shots of at each distance, barring the 300 yard where I have 10 shots recorded. So for 150, we're pretty much gonna aim right above the target, and you relatively get a pretty good spread at this range. And this is shot number 5, right above that target, aim right there, and you get relatively close to the center doing that. And this is the pattern Enfield. I like it because it has that thin front sight post. So that's the 5 shots. We're going to move to 200 yards now. We're going to flip that sight to the second setting, and we're going to aim just below the target and pull the trigger. As you can see, at 200 yards, it does take a while for the bullet to travel, but if you flip the sight up to the next range and aim just below the target, you get a good hit. As you can tell, the spread is getting a bit wider here at 200 yards. And this shot pulled high, and that's shot number 2 at 200 yards. Here comes shot number 3. And it pulled high to the left. And again, this is the pattern Enfield. At 200 yards, kneeling, no bayonet fixed. I think this is shot number 4 for 200 yards. Right down the middle. The shot dropped a little bit. That's okay. Still on the paper. Let's see. I think this is number 5. And it's still on the paper. So at 200 yards, second setting on the rifle, on the rear sight, and this is here we got at 250 yards. It's the same second setting on the rear sight, and we're going to aim right on. But this shot, the first shot here, it dropped pretty low. I just want to prove in this video that it's possible to hit at these distances in this game. I looked it up on YouTube and I couldn't find other videos, so I started playing around. So I'm aiming right at I'm doing my best to aim at the middle of the target. So at 250 yards, the second setting on the rifle sights, the rear sight aperture, aim smack on to the target, and with a bit of luck, it hits the paper. Today we're going to go all the way out to 300 yards. That's way the heck out there. But here we're still at 250. Oof. That barely made it on. I think this is the shot number 5 for 250 yards. Yay! It's at least on the paper. Not in the center ring, but that's okay. It's 250 yards. And that concludes the 250 yard. Now we're all the way out here at 300 yards, and this is the second setting on the rear side aperture. It's a little higher, and aiming slightly below the target. And you can see here that the spread is just that much more. I'm gonna move back a little bit to 300 yards. It says registered at 299, and we're still kneeling with no bayonet. We're aiming just slightly below the target. And this round flew high and to the left. Let's reload. Shot number 3. Move back up a little bit to 300. It's getting really hard to aim, and the shot is pulling to the right. It's getting really hard to aim at this point. I mean, the target is appearing and disappearing out of the Pythagoras space-time. It's making things even more difficult. And the spread is just so much wider that sometimes, depending on RNG, you can be aiming at the center of the target and you can get a perfect shot, and for some reason the round just strikes outside the paper, and you're just gonna have to essentially be lucky. You can see here that I miss off to the left and the right sometimes, and it's still registered because the round flew against my mistake and it made an impact closer to the target than where I actually aimed it. So 300 yards, you're behind that rock. Rock formation there, that's way out there. You can barely see the target, and please forgive me for the quality of the game. I made everything go down all the way to low, so there's nothing distracting me. As far as that's a good shot right there, right down the center. I don't think I actually aimed right down the center, but you know, it's just RNG at this point at 300 yards. I know the site had 2 more settings, but 300 is as far as I got. I'm gonna keep exploring what is possible in this game, and I'll report back to you guys. So, oof, that barely made it right there. And I have to admit, it took me 40 shots to able to get these 10 registered hits. Yeah, it took me quite a while. I think this is the 9th shot on the 300-yard target. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and stay tuned if I try to do up to 500 yards. Here's the final shot. Bang. Oof. Barely. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.